in about 2001, I brought Louie into rotary reliability and racing. I showed him my Volkswagen, and he had never seen one. So I turned it on for him. He heard it, and just must have been a rush for him. As far as for me also, it was good to see that I brought somebody into that world. That he took good interest in it, and pretty proud of him as where he's at now. Like I kind of pushed him in to get him a job there, and I needed help. I was alone there. I needed somebody to come help me out, and I just kind of pushed him towards Nick and told him, hey, I need this guy to help me out, and I finally got him in after a couple of days. He was sitting in the truck waiting on me at work, and Nick finally caved and let him do a job there, and then after that he got in.
I first met Louie about 15 years ago when he came to the shop over here to visit a friend of his. And he looked kind of lost, sort of like he wanted a job, but I wasn't sure. But you know, he was kind of walking around and talking to his friend who was a mechanic here at the time. And I said, hey, if you want something to do, why don't you go ahead and sweep the floors? Okay, I'll do that, he said. So he swept the floors. I thought, okay, that's the first step. So then he got bored, and a little later, I said, do you know how to work on cars? And he said, yeah, I do. I said, okay, well, I'm going to try you out. So I want you to pull this carburetor off this first gen RX-7 and fix it and make the car run. I said, okay. So I loaned him some tools, and lo and behold, he pulled it off, put it back in about an hour, and the thing was running better than it ever ran. So I said, okay, you've got a job.
I met Louie back in 2007, maybe 2008, somewhere in that period of time. I met him at RRR Rotary Reliability and Racing in Anaheim. And I met him because I had to take a car down there to dyno back when Steve Kahn, I don't know what his deal was, but he was blowing up a lot of engines, I think. That's how I met Louie.
I met Louie 2002, I think it was, through RRR. Like he worked for Nick a long time ago, and it's because I had an RX-7, and I didn't have a shop to work on my car, or I couldn't do it on my own, and I needed to do a clutch, so I went there.
I've known Louie for about 16 years. Met him over at Nick's at RRR Rotary. He's a good friend of mine. Hang out together. We just had Thanksgiving together, and just a great guy all around and knowledgeable.
I met Louie 7 years ago when he used to work at RRR. When I used to work at Lucky 7, and then every time we would come into the cars, he would help us. And then after that, that's when he moved to Lucky 7. We used to be partners on working.
I bought an 88 Turbo 2 with all stock and went to him in 2001, so it's been about 15 years. He was bald back then, he's still bald now.
We met, I want to say almost 4 years ago. We met through Lucky 7. I was a punk kid trying to rebuild my engine, and he, helped mentor me.
I met Louie back in 2009, back when he was with RRR in Nelson. Back then I had a 93 FD, and he let me a few tools, and that's how we kicked it off. Louie is very humble. He's an uncle father figure, I would say. I call him my tío. Same thing with Raquel. He's been there for me since I'm out here alone. He's been one of my family members. drivers, I would say.
But yeah, he's always had the push. He's always had drive. See something he wants, he goes for it and he gets it, and that's the type of person that he is.
Well, Louie is a friend, but he's become more like family to me, and we've always managed to be able to discuss things together, one thing I liked about him. Sometimes you can talk to people that work in the shop and they get aggravated, they don't want to talk to you, they don't want to discuss anything because they know everything. But in his case, we'll sit down, hash it out, and come up with a solution.
I think the perfect word to describe him would be he's a savage. He's a savage. There's many reasons for that. He's a nice person, he's a caring person. He works good under pressure. He's the kind of guy that works good under pressure. So that would describe the overall of Louie.
Louie, as a person or a friend, is like that person, like, say you're having a bad day or something's like, you're just like going throughout your day, you talk to him. As soon as you talk to Louie, he's gonna have put a smile on your face, even if it's through the phone or in person, and you're gonna be laughing. You're just like a good person, like good energy.
Good friend, loyal friend, very funny, outgoing. Do anything to help you, anytime.
He's a good friend. He's my boss, so I consider him a leader. He's that type of guy that will take his time to go help you out.
Besides calling him Topo, because he calls me Topo all the time, he's always has a smile on his face. Big jolly green giant, I guess you want to say. Always down to help somebody out, no matter what it is. And if he can do it, he will do it. And that's just who Louie is.
I mean, hell, you can't even describe him in one word. I mean, he's a great guy. I mean, he goes out of his way to, make sure you're happy and do things. And I mean, I think that's what makes him such a great person, is that he doesn't care about the money aspect. He cares about helping people out and, making sure the job is done right and doing stuff. So, I mean, to describe Louie in one word would be impossible.
That he's a big-hearted man. He gives more than he receives, and he's always there to help.
Hard-working man, always in the cars, and same hobby as I do. Always in the cars and going to racetracks and taking me to races and meeting famous race car drivers.
Just getting into rotaries at the time, and it was just me. My brothers weren't into them yet, and he offered I forgot spark plugs because I needed to change into new spark plugs before the tune starts, and he offered some new plugs for free, and then that was my first impression of him. This guy's cool.
He has a passion, and it shows in the work he does, and he goes above and beyond for his customers, and he's the kind of person who just treats everybody with respect.
He has his own standard. He does his own thing. Can't tell him what to do. He just does it. He gets it done. It might not be the way you want it to, but it's his way. He does nothing ever.
So we don't have a lot of time, right? I gotta keep this short. So Louie's a special kind of guy. I call him Uncle Louie because he is Uncle Louie, and he's one of the best kinds of people you can meet. Always ready to help you out. Always ready to do what he can to make sure you're set up and you're okay. Words wouldn't do it justice. You kind of just have to know him. But to me, he's Uncle Louie.
He's always been a close friend. Like I said, well, now he's family because we're married to sisters. So, but yeah, he's always had the push. He's always had drive. See something he wants, he goes for it and he gets it, and that's the type of person that he is.
He's very laid back, very nice, very chill. He doesn't ask much of anybody. Very laid back, funny guy. Well, because I was embarrassed of the truck sometimes, because he would drive me to school in our truck, the old school Ford. I would be embarrassed, so I would ask him to drop me off on the corner. Yeah, so. What happened right there?
Oh yeah, so we had a customer come from Texas with 2 RX-7s, and blue first gen and a white first gen. And I just told Louie, okay, we need everything from this car to go into this car. And I guess that started it. That was like pretty much his first rotary swap that you can call it nowadays. But yeah, that was his first big job there at Rotary Reliability.
All right, so this is a story that kind of happened with Carlos and I, and it was one time. I'm pretty sure Louie was gonna write us off the books on this one. I was over at Button Willow with my first gen RX-7, and my lugs came off, and of course, car went one way, tire went the other way. Some damage on the vehicle, but we got it back on the track later that day. But for some reason, when Louie called us to see how the track day went, Carlos was like, "Yeah, man, just tell him you flipped the car." And I was like, "All right, screw it." And I told him that, and he flipped out. And me being a young kid at the time, I didn't really think of how serious it was, but it really freaked him out. And I didn't realize how much he actually and genuinely cared about us until he was like, "Man, if you don't call me back right now, I swear to God." I was like, "Oh crap! All right, we gotta stop this joke now." And of course, he was kind of mad that we were messing with them. But taken away from that, it just man, I had a newfound respect for Louie and how much he actually cares for everybody in the community.
Yeah, I remember one time we went to Willow Springs. Man, my auntie had this old van, super old Windstar. Filled all of the kids up in there, man. Went out in the track and did donuts in that thing. Crazy.
I remember growing up, we went going to the racetrack was like a mandatory thing. We went at least once a month. That was what we did. We went for 3 years straight racing. We went to a hotel for the weekend and went with Jack and his crew and did all that. We did it for about 3 years straight.
Another good time was when I forgot to record data log on my Haltech, and you'll see a clip later on. But he was pretty upset for about a good 10 minutes, but we ended up beating that time, and we ran a 150.1 that day.
Travieso, pero buen niño. Siempre se la llevaba bien con sus hermanos. Es el que más me hacía enojar.
He's the real deal. He's 100% true to his word. I think that he's just so giving and caring. I think you'll find as you talk to people that I think we all feel the same. He's a giver and he doesn't expect anything back.
And then it came time to trade, so we went to the Kia area and he brought a Kia Optima. And all I kept hearing him on the side was, "Oh, I can't wait to take that on the track." Like, really, Louie? Why are you gonna take the brand new Kia Optima on the track? And it should have clicked in my mind because it's a turbo. And "Oh, don't worry, I won't. Okay, I won't if you don't want me to." Well, he decided to be a nice guy and volunteer to go help somebody at the racetrack. And he so happened to take the Kia that day. And after that, probably a few months after that, I hear and see pictures all over Instagram and Facebook of Louie taping up the front end of the Kia with blue tape. He's very outgoing, he's very personable, and he can talk to anybody. And it's not just because he deals with customers on an everyday basis, but he's loving and he talks to them at their level. He's never above them or beneath them or belittles them. He's very straight with them. He's to the point, but he says it so nice and genuine. And I'm like, how do you do that? I was trying to say that myself, but I'm a little bit rougher. So he teaches me how to, he's very humble. He's
Okay, so another thing that comes to mind when I think about getting to know Louie and funny things he would do is one time I was over at the shop where he currently is now before he had left and then came back and started his own thing, and I'm leaning over one of the cars looking at, I think it may have actually been Mad Mike's car. We were helping get it ready for an event in 2010, and I'm leaning over, and then he comes up and he's like, ding dong, and he pushes on my lower back, and I'm like, what are you doing? And it makes me arch my back more, and he's like, oh, I'm ringing your doorbell. And then I'm like, what the hell? And so after that, Louie taught me what ringing the doorbell was, like maybe mechanics wise.
This is, there was a period of time when I was doing sand rails over here. These were China-made sand rails. They were being imported, and we were selling them as a dealer. And so we went for a magazine film or photo up in Glamis. And so we took the sand rail, and Louie and I went up there with a bunch of people. And so Louie was driving the sand rail around the dunes, and he got excited and started going in all the pits and holes and circles around there. And then he decided to do a jump, which the photographer wanted. And the jump was predetermined, only Louie went more to the right of the predetermined jump, which was 10 foot. He went on a 30-foot jump, and the sand rail flew up in the air and landed bang on the ground, busted all my suspension. This sand rail was brand new with 5 miles on it. He made me so mad. I chased him all over the sand, and he could run pretty fast.
About the first time that they met, Louie and Rochelle, because I was with her, and we were at this bar in Long Beach called Yankee Doodles, and my sister, I don't know if it was like the car that caught her eye or what, but at the time she was single, and she pretty much threw herself in front of the car to stop him so she could meet him. I mean, literally, like, threw herself in front of the car. And I mean, I'm glad it was her throwing herself in front of the car and like not the opposite. I mean, that would have been weird if he would have threw himself in front of our car or something like that. But they're suited to each other, which is nice to see. They're not like complete opposites. They kind of balance each other out. My she's unique. I'll say that. My sister is unique. And Louie is he just like brings her down a little bit, like kind of like calms her down a little bit and kind of gets her on an even field.
Okay. I met Louie. He was driving with his brother, cruising, and they were new to the area, so they were driving Belmont Shore, and we had gone out with my sister and my cousins, and an incident had happened where somebody ran across the street and I ran behind her. Well, you know, the good driver Louie didn't see me, I guess, and he almost hit me. So he slammed his brakes on, and my cousin who was behind me was like ready to, hey, what are you doing? Did you see her? When it was my fault. I ran in the street, not his. So I apologized, and, we ended up talking there in the street for a little bit, and we exchanged numbers. And I remember not having a piece of paper, and I almost said, whatever, maybe I'll remember the number. And so I said, you know what? Let me write it on your hand. So I wrote my number on his arm, and then I took his number as well, and I wrote it on my hand. So a couple days later, maybe it was even the next day, I called him, and we started dating from there. He used to help me watch the kids when I'd go to work, so I was like, this guy's trying to play me or something. Like, what's going on? It's too good to be true. Somebody just doesn't come from out of nowhere and, take care of your kids, offer to help you while you're working, and after he got off of work, come play with the kids. And, we didn't have a lot of money to go places and do things, so I'd come home and the kids would say, Mom, they were happy. We had a good time. And I was like, where did you take the kids? What did you guys do? We went to the bird store, the dog pound. I was like, who does that? Like, I wouldn't think of, entertaining a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old at the bird store. And that's when I was like, okay, we can do this. So I kept testing the waters, and sure enough, then he started to impress me little by little. And I remember one time he was working with Nick over at Rotary, and I was working in Southgate at the time, and it was a weekend and he was working on a customer's car, and he was adamant about coming to meet me, and I thought, well, I'm gonna get off of work in a little bit, you know, I'll just meet you at the house. He was like, oh no, I'll be in the area anyway, or whatever story he told me, and I was like, okay, that's fine, you can meet me here. So he met me at work and we had lunch or whatever, we were finished and we were time to come home. And he stayed in the area and I followed him. So on the way home, he decided to test drive the customer's car on the freeway. And as I was behind him, a few seconds later, I see Louie rolling over the side of the embankment in the customer's car. I was like, oh my God, I panicked. And Louie walked up from the embankment, and his face, that look on his face, I will never forget it, because it was like, and he was gasping for air, and I was like, are you okay? What happened? What are you doing? And he just like laughed. He was scared and he was laughing. When Louie gets nervous or scared, he laughs. But he was okay, and I was like, okay, I need to call Nick.
De la persona que es ahora, bueno, siempre he estado orgulloso de mis hijos, pero estoy también orgulloso de él por gracias a, digamos, a Rachel, que se juntaron y pues le enderezó.
Louie, you set standards for, you know, for this rotary thing, for everything, like just about standard of living. You know, I always try to emulate, try to, you know, replicate your way of work, your work ethic, and just wish you the best, you know, on this journey you're taking this year. Started from the bottom, and you know, hopefully you can get up here to the top.
Well, I wish him the best on work, even though I work with him. But
So yeah, I know. Best wishes for the new year. Best wishes for the company. I know it will succeed. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yeah, sure. Looking back to where I first met Louie, where he started, where he's been to, and where he's at now, you can kind of see that wherever he goes, the people follow him. I mean, the rotary being what it is, and being such a niche market, it's hard to find an honest mechanic, even in like in a regular setting, like with a piston or whatever. But especially with the rotary scene, I mean, it sucks that there's so many, you know, dishonest shops out there. But you know, obviously, Louie is not one of those guys. I mean, there are people that have stayed with him when he's moved, you know, 2 or 3 shops already, and then, you know, now that he has his own shop, it's only up from here. I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about him, and I'm pretty sure that everybody has the same, or shares the same sentiment that I do, which is why he's at where he's at. And what can you say? I guess it's just in his DNA.
Well, just want to wish Louie a prosperous journey in DNA. I think he will go very far, and he will become very big, just within the rotary community. And you know, and he, just because he doesn't do rotaries, he does everything pretty much. He will become big, and I wish him very many pleasant journeys.
I wish him all the luck. I know he's great at what he does, and he loves what he does, and he has a wonderful wife that backs him up 100%. I think in the future he'll be one of the top rotary technicians. Plus, I hope he ventures out to other, because he does very well as a mechanic, or as a technician. All right, Louie.
Or the day I became friends with him, I should say, I wish that he had his own shop, and I had mentioned it to him previous times. I'm sure he wished it, but I'm so proud of him that he is doing it, and I think all of us as friends of him know, like, it's just uphill from here, like, not uphill like struggle, but just success-wise. It's gonna be good. Good job, Louie.
I wish you guys all the success for many years to come for DNA Garage.
And I wish him the best. You know, I encourage Louie, just like I've encouraged a bunch of other people that we're not going to mention in this video. But, you know, it's for the best. If you just got to explode, man. That's what it is. He's bringing a lot of positive attention to himself, and he definitely made a scene at the previous 7 Stock event.
I'm incredibly excited and incredibly proud of him. I couldn't be happier for what he's doing with his business, where he's going, how he's moving forward with what he wants to do. What I can say is I'm around to help out as much as I can. You know, you're always Uncle Louie, you always helped me out whenever I needed you. And likewise, I want to be that nephew that helps you out with anything you need. So I'm proud of you, Uncle Louie.
Everything that he's accomplished his whole life, especially in this automotive scene, he's earned it. There's no one else above him who can be as humble as he is, as nice as he is, and know everything that he does. The knowledge that he has alone can go, I don't know who can compare to that. I think he's doing really good, having his own shop, being his own boss. He deserves it. You know, está viejito, so he needs to relax, find somebody to run the shop for him now. He's done it. He should be relaxing.
Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. You know, you're a really nice guy, and your family's awesome, and so are your friends. So we all support you.
Yeah, we always got your back, man. Mac Bros will be there for you.
I'm definitely proud that he's doing it, and it feels good to me knowing that I brought him into it. Not saying that I made him who he is now, but I mean, I introduced him to it, so that's kind of a little satisfying for myself also.
The last 12 months that Louie's been here, I've seen a great progress in what he has done in his life. He's learnt a lot from Lucky 7, of course, a lot from me. And at the rate he's going right now, I think he's going to be very successful in years to come. I wish him luck and Godspeed.
I think that he's very attentive to Rochelle, and vice versa. They help each other. They complete each other.
I have something to say. You know, I've had a few mechanical problems with my Nissan that I had and with my truck, and he's always been there to help me, and he's never charged me for anything. He's always done it, you know, because I'm going to be his father-in-law. Which is a good reason, you know. No, and I like Louie. Louie's cool. He's got patience and he has wisdom, and that's pretty good qualities to have.
And he's got a lot of love in his heart for people, not only for Rochelle but for my grandkids. He's always there for them, and for Rochelle, and for others in the family. And Lord's going to bless him. Lord's going to bless him more than what he already has. And that we love you, Louie. And we love you, Rochelle. And we just pray that everything goes fine and that we're here.
Bueno, yo le quiero decir decirle muchas cosas, pero entre ellas que lo felicito, que estoy orgulloso de él y que nunca se olvide que siempre lo que es de querer y lo quiero.
I definitely want to thank everybody who helped participate in this documentary, and you know, Louie's journey from where he began in 2000 with Nick at Rotary, and through his journey to where he's at now. I mean, everybody that helped. There's Kyle, Nelson. There's too many to name, and definitely everybody that participated in the video. Carlitos. Know all of you. There's probably a lot of you in here that I don't even know about that helped, but we definitely appreciate you guys taking the time to give your feedback and let Louie know that you guys care for him. So in this way we can continue doing what we do to help them, and we're DNA. We do nothing average. Louie is not average.